So it looks like I think we're all muted. We'll go ahead and start here. Okay, great. So thank you for joining. As always, this is a nice little 45 minutes we get to spend together. So if you have any yoga props that you would like to have nearby, go ahead and grab those. If my cat jumps in, I'm going to do my best to stay focused and continue teaching. And of course, listen to your body, have fun, let this be an exploration, and don't be too hard on yourself if you can't do what I'm doing or what someone else is doing on the screen. We all have our own practice, which is part of the reason why it's so great. Okay, let's get started in a comfortable seated position. And we'll start by focusing on the breath. So feel nice long inhales through the nose, feel them lifting you up. And then a nice slow exhale out through the mouth. And keep with that breath, maybe doing 3 or 4 more of those. And as you're doing that, I just want to start by reading a nice poem. It is enough right now to taste one moment of peace. Of course I want more, but at least the door is open. It is enough to draw a conscious breath and let my hands relax, fingers releasing their tight grasp on things outside of my control. It is enough to shed a layer of stress as if taking off a jacket or a pair of too tight shoes. Ease of being has to start somewhere. This breath is my first step. So as you feel gentle, relaxed, feel yourself letting go and allowing the next 45 minutes to be a practice about you without judgment. Feel another deep breath in as you breathe in. And a big cleansing exhale out. Lovely, and then gently opening the eyes up. And let's breathe. So a big inhale, reach the arms up overhead, press the palms together. And then exhale, pull the hands to the center of the heart. Inhale. And on the exhale, start turning towards your right. Option to leave the hands at heart center. If you'd like to place the right hand down on the mat, left hand comes to the right knee. We don't want to be yanking too much, but if you have the flexibility and you feel like the left hand can press against the right knee a bit and get a bit of a deeper twist, go ahead and try that. And then exhale, release back to center. Let's inhale again, reach the arms up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, take a breath in. And as you exhale, go ahead and twist. You can leave your hands at heart center or drop them down and the right hand can come to the left knee. So the spine is still lengthening up towards the ceiling. The shoulders are relaxed and the chin is parallel to the floor. And find your way back towards center. We'll put the right hand right on the mat and we'll inhale, reach the left arm up to the ceiling. So before we go anywhere, really feel the left fingertips reaching as they spread. And then as you exhale, reach over towards your right. We want to be really gentle and light in this right hand. We want to be keeping both of our sitting bones down on the mat. And if you want, you can start to gaze a little bit up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, come back through center, left fingertips to the floor. Nice. Inhale, reach the right arm up high, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And then move with ease in. Just go ahead and reach over towards the left. Nice side body stretch. And exhale, float back up to the other side. Inhale, left arm reaching up. And exhale, reach. Stay here for our breath. Inhale. Exhale, fold the chest over that right thigh. Keep reaching through the left fingertips to feel a nice stretch. And then exhale, float back through center, left hand down to the ground. Inhale, right arm reaching up. And exhale, reach to the left. Inhale. And exhale, fold over the left thigh. And continue reaching. The back of the neck is long. Chin is just tucked a little bit towards the chest. Stay for one more breath. And exhale, release back up towards center. And let's just take our hands and wrists and warm them up. We'll be using our wrists in downward facing dog, high plank, low plank. You can put the backs of the hands together and kind of work the elbows down to get a nice stretch. See how that feels. Maybe start tucking the chin a little bit. And then up and over to the other side, left ear, left shoulder. Tucking the chin. And then back up to center and just turn the head and start turning it towards the right. So kind of like the chin is almost working its way towards the right shoulder. Exhale, come back through center and take it over to the other side. So just moving with ease, twisting and turning and just noticing. And back through center and drop the chin towards the chest. And any movements that might feel good when you're in a pose for you, please take those. Okay, feels like we're pretty good. So let's go ahead and come into our child's pose. I'm going to explain a bit of child's pose. So if you see me with my head up, that is why. So the knees can be to the edges of the mat or they can be together. Relax through the heels, reach the fingertips forward. On an exhale, notice if you can feel the heart sinking down towards the mat and the forehead should be in contact with something on a yoga block or on the mat. And child's pose is a great home base pose, a great resting pose. So you have the option of feeling really like melty and relaxed in this child's pose, or for a more active child's pose, spread the fingertips nice and wide. They're about shoulder width distance apart and press into the finger pads so the elbows start to lift up off the mat. Feel a lengthening through the spine and the hips, maybe press a bit closer towards the heel. So that's for a bit of a more active child's pose. Why don't we take 3 slow breaths here? Last one, deep full breath in and long exhale out. Let's come into puppy pose. So for puppy pose, bring the knees a bit closer together so they're about hips width distance apart. The hips will stay lifted and the arms will reach forward like we were just in child's pose, and the forehead or the chin can come to the floor. You can either leave the toes tucked or untuck them. And if it's feeling a bit tight on the shoulders, you can always TP the fingertips, and that way you get a bit more of a lift through the arms. Nice stretch in the low back. And then let's move up to all fours, a nice tabletop position. And take a minute to just move around here. Oftentimes there'll be some cracks or pops happening. Oh, I heard that one. And then feel the freedom to, if you feel a tight spot, know that you can stop there and feel through that. Maybe go to the other side. All right. And then go ahead and start dropping the hips to the floor. So we'll come into a nice upward facing dog, but it's not so active. You have a soft bend in the elbows and you're kind of just floating from side to side. Maybe you turn and look over the left shoulder. And then turn and look over the right. And then back to tabletop position. So the hands are about hips width distance apart. We're pressing into the finger pads and the shoulders are right over the wrists. In tabletop, keep the back of your neck long so you can just gaze between the two hands. And our tabletop doesn't look lazy like this. It's we're hugging the core up and in. Arm forward. Keep pressing into that right hand and keeping the core active. The belly button hugs in towards the spine. Take a breath in. Exhale, curl your spine and work elbow towards knee. Tuck the chin. Inhale, lengthen out and reach. Breath in. And exhale, squeeze elbow towards knee. And one more time. Inhale, reach and lengthen out. And exhale, squeeze in, and we'll hold for 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, let it go, tabletop position. Any nice little movements here, roll the wrists out. And then setting yourself back up in that alignment. Hug the belly button in towards the spine, nice and active. Kick the left foot back behind you. Option is stay here for more of a challenge. Lift the right arm forward. Spread the fingertips. The thumb is up towards the ceiling. And you're kicking out through this back left heel. And don't forget to press in a bit to the top of the right foot to help you stay steady. Take a breath in. Exhale, work elbow towards knee. So you're curling in the spine. Hug that belly button in. Inhale, kick and lengthen out. And exhale, bring in. And with breath again, inhale, reach. And exhale, squeeze and tuck the chin. 3, 2, and 1. Tabletop position. All right. Start walking the hands forward, maybe 3 or 4 inches. Tuck your toes under. Feet stay hips width distance apart. Fingertips spread nice and wide, downward facing dog. So if downward facing dog is not feeling good, option to come into dolphin pose, dropping the elbows. So the forearms are down on the floor. You could always take a kind of like one-handed downward facing dog and the other arm is in dolphin. So you decide. Stay soft through the joints, so through the knees, through the elbows, the head hangs nice and heavy. As you bend the knees, the tailbone lifts up towards the ceiling and the chest is pressing back towards the thighs. Option to stay here or take a 3-legged dog. So with the 3-legged dog, we'd start lifting the right heel up towards the ceiling. Notice how that feels. Still send that chest back towards the left thigh. And exhale, release, lower that leg down. And then try the other side if you'd like. Inhale, start reaching the left heel up. The right heel is still working its way down towards the ceiling, still pressing through the finger pads. Another breath. Exhale, release, downward facing dog. Step the right foot forward, high runner's lunge. So the right foot comes between the two hands and all 10 toes are facing forward. Option to drop the back knee. We'll take a twist here. So leave the left hand down, reach the right arm up to the ceiling. Another breath. Exhale, release, lower that right hand down. And let's spin this back heel down. So the toes on the left foot are facing up towards the top left-hand corner of the mat. And start to straighten the front leg if you can, and just fold over the right thigh. And again, if this doesn't feel okay on the knees, know that it's okay to have a soft bend through the knees. And then come on back to that high runner's lunge and drop your back knee. Awesome. Option to leave the toes tucked or untuck them. I like untucking them. And then hands can either stay down by your side. We're melting into the hips here, so you should feel a nice stretch through the front of this left thigh, or hands can come to the top of the right knee. And breathe. Let's bring the right hand to the floor and inhale, reach the left arm up high to the ceiling. Feel that nice stretch. Then on the exhale, just a little reach over towards the right. And then come on back, lower the hands down to the mat. Start straightening the front leg for a runner's stretch. And in this pose, I like when my hip is right over the left knee. So I kind of adjust my back knee. I've seen some people who will bring their whole glute down on the heel, and that way the stretch feels good to them. So your option to play around here, see which one feels better. And bend through the right knee, plant the right foot on the floor. Let's step the back foot up to a forward fold. So all 10 toes face forward, they are parallel. Bend the knees and fold the upper body. And let the head go. And then just notice here, rocking around on the different parts of the feet, really grounding down, noticing if you can intentionally press through all four corners of the feet. Press through the feet, inhale, let's slowly rise up to stand. Let the breath carry you up, and then another inhale, arms sweep up high towards the ceiling. And exhale, hinge at your hips, bend the knees, and fold over. Let's plant the hands on the floor and step back to downward facing dog. Step the left foot forward between the two hands, high runner's lunge. Always have the option to drop the back knee. Check in with the front foot. Knee is right over the ankle. Right hand stays down. Press through the feet, hug the belly button in, and feel a nice twist. Left arm reaches up to the ceiling. Awesome. Continuing to breathe. And exhale, lower that left arm back down. Let's go ahead and drop this back right heel down so the right toes are facing up towards the top right-hand corner of the mat. Hands stay on the mat and start working the front leg towards straight. Fold over this front thigh. And then come on back to that high runner's lunge, and we'll drop our back knee. Option to leave the toes tucked or untuck them. Feel that nice opening through the front of the left, the right thigh and the hip flexor muscles. The hands can stay down on the floor or come to the top of the left thigh. Okay, and from here, go ahead and bring the left hand down to the floor. Inhale that right arm up high towards the ceiling. Feel that stretch just right here as you inhale. And then as you exhale, notice how it changes and feels different. So start reaching towards the left a bit. Awesome. Release that right hand back down. We'll come into our runner's stretch. Start straightening that front leg. Flex these left toes towards your face. And then again here, feel the freedom to move around from side to side. Really fold that upper body kind of towards the left toes for a deeper stretch. All right, bend this left knee, left foot to the floor. Step the right foot forward for a nice forward fold at the top of our mat. Okay. Let's come into monkey pose or gorilla pose. So we're going to stay in this forward fold. For monkey pose, you take the peace fingers and you wrap them around the big toe so the palms face one another. The elbows kind of fall out like elephant ears. The upper body hangs nice and heavy. You've still got a generous bend through the knees. Or we can come into gorilla pose. So slip your palms all the way underneath the soles of your feet so the toes are right to the wrist creases. And this one, you have a nice bend in the knees so the ribs are almost resting right on the tops of the thighs. And another deep breath in. And full exhale out. All right, whatever forward fold variation you're in, let's go ahead and bring our hands to the floor. And we'll inhale and rise up to stand. So press through those feet. We'll inhale, sweep the arms up. And from here, notice if you really press to the feet, press the hips forward. Maybe you have a little back bend here. And then exhale, fold forward. So we're keeping the spine nice and flat. The heart leads the way as you fold. From here, inhale a halfway lift. So bring the hands to the front of the shins. Back of the neck is nice and long. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Take another breath. And exhale, fold. Inhale, press through the feet. Let's rise up to stand. And exhale, bow forward. Let the head hang heavy. Press to the feet. Inhale, lift halfway. Let the heart pull forward. Belly button hugs in towards the spine. And exhale, fold. Inhale, press through the feet. Rise up to stand. And we'll do that one more time. Exhale, fold forward. Nice bend through the knees. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, fold. Inhale, press through the feet. Rise up to stand. And exhale and fold. Hands to the mat. Step back to a high plank. So a high plank, you can always modify with putting the knees down. So notice when you're almost sacrificing too much, like it could be unsafe. So listen to your body. Shoulders are right over the wrists. We have a soft bend in the elbows. And we're not dropping into the hips or the shoulders. We're really using the core. And then go ahead and drop the knees here. Let's exhale. Bend the elbows so they hug in towards the ribs, and let's lower down. Flip onto the tops of your feet. Keep the elbows bent. Walk the hands up so they're right under the shoulders, and inhale to a baby upward facing dog. So using lots of upper back muscles. And then exhale, tuck the toes and float back to downward facing dog. So either transitioning through a tabletop or taking child's pose if you need to. Inhale, roll forward to that high plank. Nice, and we'll come into our side plank. So right hand to the center of the mat, rolling onto the feet. You can leave both feet on the floor. You can drop the right knee, lift the left arm up to the ceiling. Then staying nice and fluid in the joints, float back to your high plank. Walk the left hand to the center of the mat, turn onto the sides of the feet, drop a knee, right arm reaches up. And then come on back to your high plank, lower the knees down, and drop the hips to that lazy upward facing dog. And then tuck the toes under, press on back, downward facing dog. And then ever so slowly, walk the feet up towards the top of the mat. So you come into a forward fold. All right. From here, we'll come into a standing split. So we're going to leave the right foot down on the floor. We're going to continue folding in the upper body, and we're going to lift the left leg up towards the ceiling. And then start bending in the front knee, and let's step back to that high runner's lunge so the left foot comes to the floor. And then adjust that front foot if needed. So that right knee is right over the right ankle. Lovely. Okay, so let's come up to our crescent lunge. You can always drop the back knee here. All 10 toes are facing forward, the right thigh super powerful, and the arms float up towards the ceiling. And you have the option to stay here. If you'd like to take it into a twist, go ahead and breathe in. And then we can try this sort of twist where you twist towards your right and the arms open up. Or if you'd like to keep hands at heart center, you can do that. Inhale, come back to crescent lunge, both arms reach up. Exhale to warrior two. Spin that back heel down. And watch this front right knee. We don't want it to be caving in towards the center. We want the knee right over the ankle. So make sure you can see the right toes. Powerful through the feet. Feel really grounded here, like almost your mat could rip right in the middle. That's the grip that we're feeling on the feet. And let's inhale, straighten that front leg and bring the arms up overhead. And exhale, warrior two, sink. Love it. Inhale, straighten that front leg and reach. And exhale, warrior two. One more time. Inhale, press through the feet. And exhale to your warrior two. So the gaze is over the front middle finger. We're dialing in on a focal point. And we're breathing. Inhale, flip the front palm and reverse your warrior, reaching up. Nice side body stretch through the ribs, through the arm, really reaching through the right fingertips. And then we float right into our side angle. So bring this right arm, the top of the right thigh, reach the left arm up high towards the ceiling. And now we've got some options from here. So you're welcome to stay like this. You can come into a half bind. So the back of this top hand finds your low back and you get a nice twist through this opening in the left shoulder. You can slide this right hand down to the floor on the inside of the foot and actually reach the left arm up over the ear and towards the front edge of the mat. So we've got a nice straight line of energy here through these left fingertips all the way through the side of the left foot. And we continue breathing, we stay, we feel, take another inhale. And exhale. We're going to come into a deepest lunge. So bring both hands down to the mat and walk this right foot out towards the right edge of the mat. And we'll lower our back knee down. And you're welcome to stay here or drop down to the forearms. And then press back into the hands. Walk this right foot in between the two hands and press back into a runner's stretch. So now we're straightening that front leg. See how that feels. And then we'll walk our way up to a forward fold at the top of our mat. So bringing both feet to the top edge of the mat, about hips width distance apart. Feel a nice fold in the upper body, so let the head and neck release. And then from here, let's bring the hands to the floor. And the left foot is going to stay down on the mat. And now we're going to come into a standing split. The right foot reaching up towards the ceiling. So the deeper you fold in the upper body, you get a bit more of a lift through that right heel. And then as you move gently, bend the front knee and step back to that high runner's lunge. And then from there, adjust the front foot as needed. And we'll work our way up to our crescent lunge. You can drop the back knee, all 10 toes face forward. Use the core, hugging energy up and in, and the arms lift. And we'll take a twist from here. So take a breath in, and then exhale, twist towards the left if you'd like. Feel a nice opening as you reach the arms from the front to the back edge of the mat. And then bring the arms back up, crescent lunge. And exhale, open warrior two. Let that back foot and heel find the floor, and the arms continue reaching. If you notice yourself really reaching forward or really reaching back, see if you can let the shoulders land right over the hips. And then inhale, straighten that front leg, bring the fingertips overhead. And exhale, warrior two. And then inhale, straighten that leg, reach the arms up. Nice, just following the breath. Exhale, warrior two, one more time. Inhale, press through the feet, lift. And exhale, warrior two. So from here, really dial in on the ring fingers. See if you can lengthen out through those, and then as you do that, lengthen through the arms. Inhale, flip the front palm and revolve. Reach through those left fingertips. And exhale, side angle. The left elbow gently resting on that thigh, and the right arm is reaching up towards the ceiling. And from here, lots of options. Half bind, you can bring the back of that top hand to the low back. And even if it reaches, you can start wrapping it on top of the left thigh as you get a nice twist through the right shoulder. And if you'd like, you can slide this left hand down to the inside of the left foot, and the right arm can reach overhead. Nice full side body stretch. And then come on back to your warrior two. Inhale, flip the front palm, revolve. We're going to exhale to the deepest lunge. So bring both arms down to the mat. Start walking the left foot out towards the left edge of the mat. Drop onto the back knee, lower onto the forearms if you'd like. And then from here, we'll press back to that runner stretch, which my sister just reminded me that we did. So straightening that left leg, flexing the left toes towards the face, and feeling that. And let's go ahead and step forward to a forward fold, top of the mat. Go ahead and walk the feet in so they're about 3 or 4 inches from one another, and we'll inhale, rise up to stand. And reach the arms up nice and high, full body stretch. Reach those fingertips up. And exhale, hands to heart center. So we'll go into a couple balancing poses. So if you would like to find your way near a wall, if a wall is helpful for you, definitely please do that. So let's go ahead and start with a nice tree pose. So we'll put our body weight into the left foot, start bending the right knee. And then from here, choose the tree. So the sole of the foot can stay on the floor, that big toe kind of kickstanding, or it can be below the knee. Or go ahead and grab it and bring it right above. You're pressing into that left foot, and we're not jutted out to one side, just hanging out. We're grounding down, hugging energy up and in. And the sole of this right foot is pressing against that left thigh. And then you can have any arm variation and know that there's lots of different challenges here. You can close your eyes, bring the gaze up towards the ceiling, or come up on the left tippy toes are all fun things to try out. Another breath. And keep this right leg lifted. Let's hug the shin in, grab with the hands. All right. Flex that right foot and kick it out. Reach the arms up and we'll pulse for 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Let it go. And shake it out from side to side for a minute. I love the shakes. They're so good. Okay, so to the other side. And I always like kind of giving steps. So before we just hop into a pose, there's little building blocks to it. So press down, put the body weight into the right foot. Feel engaged through the muscles. And then bend that left knee. Nice. And then build the tree. So you can bring that foot above or below the knee, just not on the right knee. And notice if you can feel the mound of the big toe and the heel on the right foot. So you're really grounding and pressing down. Upper body lifting up. The sole of the left foot is pressing into the right leg. And then we find our tree pose from here, any sort of arm variation. And we reach for another breath. And then we just float, hug that left shin in, grab it with the hands, soft through the standing leg, kick the left foot out. Reach both arms up towards the ceiling and pulse for 3, 2, and 1. Release, let it go. And shake it out from side to side. Oh, all right, so let's lower down right into a squat. So your feet will be at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock-ish. And just rock from side to side a bit. Maybe you kind of creep forward, rock from one side to the next. Maybe you walk the hands behind. You. And let's just start to fold towards the feet. So not so active, just kind of a nice little surrender and melt down. And lift your body back up. Let's go ahead and lower down onto our back. So bend the knees and keep the feet on the floor and lower down. We'll come into one bridge pose. So you want to have the feet right under the knees. And if you can, see if your fingertips can touch your heels. If you can, keep gazing up at the ceiling to protect your neck, and I'll try to walk us through this. So it's called bridge pose. The toes are facing directly forward. Press into the feet, lift the hips up. Keep guiding the knees in towards one another. You don't want them falling out to the edges of your mat. And you're kind of pressing into the upper back. The chin is tucked a bit. Pressing into the feet, the hips lift. Another breath. Exhale, slowly lower the spine back down to the floor. And then hug your knees into your chest. And then lower the feet to the floor. We'll take reclined pigeon pose while we're here on our back. So you can leave the left foot down on the floor, bend this right knee and bring the right ankle over the left thigh. And maybe some days this feels like this is as far as you want to go in the pose, and that's okay. If you want to take it a step further, you can hug this left thigh into the upper body and wrap the fingers around the left hamstring. And release that side down. And go to the other side. And for even a deeper stretch, if your hands are interlaced behind the right thigh, you can bring them on top of the right shin and squeeze in that way. And sometimes you can feel a deeper stretch through that left glute and outer thigh hip area. And exhale, release, lower the feet down. And just kind of let the knees fall from side to side if you've got enough room. Kind of like nice windshield wipers, just rocking from side to side. Okay. Let's finish up with a nice spinal twist. So hug that right knee into the right shoulder, extend the left foot long on the mat, squeeze it in, take an inhale. Exhale, guide the right knee up and over the left. Feel a nice twist through the back and through the spine. And float your way back towards center. And switch your sides. Extend the right leg long, hug the left knee in. Take a breath. And as you exhale, twist. And then rock your way right back towards center. Any final poses you want to take before we just wrap up? If you want to hug the knees into the chest or take happy baby. We'll come into our final resting pose. So with that, you let the hands and feet fall out comfortably. Maybe the feet and ankles fall towards the bottom corners of the mat. They sort of roll open and the palms face up towards the ceiling. And you return to a natural rhythm of breath and notice if there's any tension being held anywhere and see if you can give yourself the permission to let that go. We'll stay here for just a moment. And the challenge with this pose is doing the best to stay still and remain present and not gripping on to any distractions. So a lot of yoga teachers will kind of deem this as one of the most difficult yoga pose. Let's take a deep, full breath in through the nose. And then open the mouth like you're fogging a mirror and slowly exhale. And again, one more time, full breath in. And long exhale out. And then with nice, slow, gentle movements, we'll work our way back up towards a nice seated position. You can hug the knees in towards the chest, rock front to back. And then you can keep the eyes closed or just glance at the floor. And let's sit up nice and tall, like we really created some length here. The heart is nice and open. And inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, pull your hands towards heart center. And while you're here, allow yourself to feel grateful for showing up and grateful for the way that your body moves and that you're happy and healthy and safe. So let's take a breath in. And then a big exhale out. Thank you guys so much for joining the practice. I hope you all feel great. I appreciate you who have joined and let me practice with you. So hop on if you have any questions, and I'll be here next Monday. Hydrate and be safe.